So now we're in our second portion of our first overflow session. We're talking about judging. In the previous session, we talked about feeling empty and dealing with anticipation and waiting and expectations and all that kind of stuff. Let's consider all that we just looked at, and let's consider that by judging those moments through the gospel stories of Jesus and John the Baptist. This is from the Gospel of John, the first chapter, verses 19 to 31. And this is the testimony of John, they say. When the Jews from Jerusalem sent priests and Levites, holy people, to him to ask, John, who are you? He admitted and did not deny it, but admitted, I am not the Messiah. So they asked him, well, what are you then? Are you Elijah, which was a famous prophet back in the day? He says, I am not. Are you a prophet? He answered, no. So they said to him, who are you, so we can give an answer to those who sent us? What do you have to say for yourself? And John responded, I am the voice of one crying out in the desert, make straight the way of the Lord. Just as an aside, there's a Christian writer named C.S. Lewis who once said, true humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Some of the Pharisees were also sent, some other church leaders. And they asked him, why then do you baptize John the Baptist? Why then do you baptize if you're not the Messiah or Elijah or the prophet? And John answered them, I baptize with water. But there's one among you, there's somebody out there whom you do not recognize. That one is coming after me. And that person's sandal strap, I'm not worthy to untie. True humility. This happened in Bethany across the Jordan where John was baptizing. The next day, he saw Jesus coming towards him, and he said, behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. You should recognize that from Mass. But it also goes back to the Passover sacrifice, where Moses led the Jews out of Egypt by first taking the blood of the lamb and smearing it over the doors so that the angel of death passed over their houses. Back to the story, John the Baptist says, he is one of whom I said, a man is coming after me who ranks ahead of me because he existed before me. Jesus is God. He existed before John the Baptist. I did not know him, but the reason why I came baptized with water was so that he might be made known to Israel. John the Baptist did his thing so that Jesus would get to be known. There's lots of anticipation going on, and people were waiting, anticipating a Messiah. That's why they were asking John, are you it? He wasn't. If we look inward and reassess, our anticipation, that kind of stuff, probably tells us a little something more about me. That there's something larger going on. There's a saint, St. Ignatius, and he reminds us that when making decisions about what work or what ministry or how we're to live our life, the Jesuits, his followers, should opt for what is conducive to the greater service of God and the universal good. When figuring out what the anticipation is going on and that kind of stuff, Mikhail wanted Jose just to be a good person. Wasn't worried about different levels of success. Her success for her was if he was a good man. Okay. The Society of Jesus, the followers of St. Ignatius, their saying is ad majorem Dei gloria, which is for the greater glory of God. The fundamental idea is that we try to do the more we try to do, the better, the greater for God, not for ourselves. So here's a question for you to consider as we wrap up this judge portion of this week's presentations. What might you be doing in your life for the greater glory of God?